Fear the Walking Dead returns on August 21st for the second half of its second season, otherwise known as Season 2B. Or maybe it's a case of not to be for our fractured family as they struggle to survive on the post-pandemic West Coast. If you're not familiar, it's the companion series to one of the most popular TV shows of all time, The Walking Dead. And it's incredibly successful in its own right. With over 10 million people tuning in, it's got the bragging rights of being the most watched series premiere in basic cable history. To celebrate its return, here's 5 things you need to know about Fear the Walking Dead. Only brain-dead zombies assume Fear the Walking Dead is a spin-off in the traditional sense of the word. It may be set in the same universe at almost the same time and follow people living through the same catastrophe, but according to Robert Kirkman, creator of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, it's technically not a spin-off because they're not spinning off any of the characters. This is no Better Call Saul or Joey, and certainly no Frasier.
I'm listening.
Kirkman said, "It will be another group of characters surviving in another part of the world, and it's not going to use any of the core cast from our show. The show will continue uninterrupted, as if the other show doesn't exist." Which is why we shouldn't expect a crossover anytime soon, if at all. Fear the Walking Dead showrunner Dave Erickson has pretty much buried that idea. When asked at PaleyFest, his response was, "No. That's the one straight answer I can give you. The chronology is so far apart, and there's a continent between them. Fear is set on the West Coast, whereas The Walking Dead is set in old Atlanta, Georgia. So there's a whole continent to cross, on foot. Also, there's the small matter of timeline. Fear starts just as the undead outbreak is, breaking out, whereas Walking Dead starts long after people started nibbling on each other for funsies." Erickson says, "From a narrative standpoint, with The Walking Dead being 6 seasons in and going on 7, I don't think we'll ever quite catch up with them. So chronologically, it would be difficult as well." Which is of course a massive shame, but we're still holding out hope. Some slight spoilers here, but let's talk a little about the mysterious Victor Strand. Well-dressed? Tick. Aston Martin? Tick. Access to a big-ass yacht named Abigail? Double tick. Well, in order to add some authenticity to the show, actor Colman Domingo actually underwent yacht training.
You know, I got my sea legs actually, which is pretty cool because I had to go to Yacht Training in San Diego to just learn how to, the operations of a yacht and what I would need. And, you know, being in this business, those are the greatest skills you can get because you're learning new things about myself. I had no idea, and I actually would like a boat someday. So if anybody would like to give me a boat, I'll take a boat. I say give me a boat. Like, not that I'm going to buy a boat. I just want somebody to give me a boat.
There's been a number of Walking Dead video games of varying degrees of quality. From the very, very good.
You've been all by yourself through this?
Yeah, I want my parents to come home now.
I think that might be a little while.
To, quite honestly, the pretty bad.
Merlin Durrell in a game. What can be better than that?
Fear the Walking Dead has a mobile endless runner game, but nothing bigger. Yet. But it turns out the cast are totally up for it. Alycia Debnam-Carey, who plays Alicia, says, "We've already signed up for it in a way because we've done full body scans for potential video game releases, and for action figure dolls. So far, I haven't seen anything come to fruition, but I mean, hey, it's probably not hard to imagine it would come down that path." The Walking Dead comic book was going for around 7 years before it graced the small screen, meaning they had a load of characters and story arcs to cover. With Fear, though, there is no comic book. The story and characters are totally original, and according to the cast, that is a really good thing.
Yeah, I think not having comic book materials actually works in our favor in a way. I mean, it's brilliant for the original, it kind of is very exciting for fans, but for us it leaves room to be unexpected and to have the advantage of the fans not knowing.
I've been able to frame the character of Strand because there's no blueprint for him. I was given this incredible language by our writing team, and then it's my job to try to create something that's unique, that's fresh, that is ultimately something that only I can bring to it. So that's exciting that we have no map, really, to go off of. We're just like, we're creating this thing out of thin air and like hoping that audiences go along for the ride.
So there we are, 5 cool facts about Fear the Walking Dead. For more on the show, make sure you stay tuned to youtube.com/GameSpot, and for goodness sake, make sure you keep your eye out for any infected who might be walking around.